Welcome back to Boring Reviews. Nick there.
Jodi there.
I don't know what we're reacting to because it's not on the computer.
You gotta be professional. You gotta wing it.
I gotta wing it. And we're reacting to another episode of...
Clip.
Just kidding. Just kidding. Of the Graham Norton Show.
Do you know it's actually pronounced Graham? Graham. So they say it faster over there, like Graham. Graham. But it's Graham. Okay, no it's not. And we're reacting to Nicole Kidman is blown away by Stephen Fry's intelligence. Aren't we all?
I'm sure she's going to be very impressed, but I'd like to see her actually be blown away because usually it's clickbait.
Do you know why I hate Nicole Kidman? And it's not her fault.
Why?
That's so dramatic.
What? Like what?
Tell us, Nick.
Seriously, I really like her. I mean, in the show she's in, I don't know her personal life.
In our theaters here at the AMC theaters, which is like the biggest theater chain in this country, they had this little spot that always goes on. And it started with COVID, you know, because people weren't going to the theaters. And so it was like a whole little like, this is why we watch movies and we get dazzled by the big silver screen. And she's all by herself in a theater, which they couldn't even, like, I guess, hire extras. I have no idea. But she's all by herself, and she's just all enthralled with these movies. They've been playing it before every single movie ever since 2020. I absolutely hate it. There's no point to continue to play it. There's no point to continue to play it. It's before every single movie. That's why I hate her guts. And it's not her fault.
It is a long, like, little...
Oh, my gosh. It's at least a minute or more.
No, it's more than a minute. It doesn't... But when you're sitting
But a
there,
minute's
like,
a long time. When you're like,
goes.
okay, this movie's supposed to start 35 minutes ago, and now we get another minute to go.
It's true. Watching that for over 5 years would get annoying.
If you like our reaction to this anyway, please don't forget to...
like this video, subscribe to our channel, and hit that notification bell so you can be aware of our next uploaded video.
To the point where my kids have the whole thing memorized. And they just mouth it the entire time. Or whisper it. Here we go.
Now, Stephen Fry.
Yes, sir.
Brings us... Well, I say sequel, it's more of a continuation.
Yes.
Of your best-selling book of Greek mythology, Mythos. This is Heroes. It's out now. And, I mean, the first one was such a huge hit.
It was, wasn't it? It was a big surprise to me. I was delighted by it. I've always loved Greek myths, and Actually, it started, I found myself a year and a half ago. It's around a table at someone's house, and we were all just talking about creation myths and where they come from. And I started telling the story of the early Greek gods, the first ones, and they all went, why didn't I know about that? And, you know, where Zeus came from. Because everyone's heard of certain names, but they don't necessarily know how they go together. And someone said, well, you should write them. So I started to. And now
this one is
carries on to the heroes.
Yes, this is more of the human...
Exactly. By this time, as it
right.
were, it's getting to be more human, and they're clearing up the world, ridding it of monsters and so on.
And because it's written in this very kind of conversational way, all the dialogue is very kind of everyday, is that you kind of trying to get the reader to make connections between these stories and our own lives?
Sort of. I mean, there's no question that for a lot of people, just a Greek word looks somehow as if it belongs more to a schoolroom than to a story, because we think of Greek as being an academic thing, ancient Greek, whereas, of course, to the Greeks it wasn't, and it isn't now. And I also wanted to create an atmosphere. My favourite Greek god in some ways is Hestia, perhaps the least well-known of the firstborn of the Olympians, who's the goddess of the hearth. And the hearth, when you think about it, all our ancestors, whatever our ethnicity, all our ancestors gathered around flames at night to stay warm and to protect themselves from animals, and they told stories about things over which they had no control, like they'd tell their children where thunder comes from and why there's fire coming out of the mountain. And everything you can't understand and control, you give a name, a god. And so these gods were developed personalities around the fire. And now, I think we can safely say we've lost the hearth. You know, we don't eat round tables anymore. Someone's got a PlayStation in that room and they get a delivery of pizza into it, and someone else has got another, they're streaming things in another room. Nobody gathers around and shares stories anymore. We've lost our focus, we've lost our hearth. So I'm trying in the books to recreate the relaxed feeling of sitting around a fire, listening to stories, which I think is a primal thing, listening to them together. And so that's the purpose.
So it's to do with arson.
And obviously there's lots of gods, lots of heroes, but does Queen Atlanta appear?
Well, I should say, of course, happily, that I'm using the word hero as a gender-neutral word. There's Atalanta, who's one of my favourite heroes, and Atlana is in your film
Yes, I play-
Aquaman.
Yes.
You're playing Queen Atlana.
Not my film.
Well, Mark
I'm-
Urban's film, isn't it?
It's
You're in it.
Jason
Yeah.
Momoa's film.
Yeah.
James Wan's film. Yeah.
Well, you've been named after, I guess that's Atlantis, is it?
And
Well,
Queen Atlana is Queen of Atlantis.
well, there's a good example of how these things kind of go into our language is that
talking.
Atlas, Atlas was a titan who fought in the War of the Titans
Yeah.
against the gods, and his punishment, because he was the most severe enemy of Zeus and the Olympians, was to hold up the sky.
Yeah.
And that image of him bulging like a Bulgarian weightlifter holding up the sky was used by early mappers of the world, and they called those maps atlases after him, the picture of the world. And so it's all connected. And so you're Atalanti, well, presumably you're Atlanti, is that her name? The character?
Atlana.
Atlana, there you are.
Yes.
There you are. Yeah. Be related.
Look, we're all like, you're so smart.
Oh, go in storytelling. It's really...
No, Nicole, I can't tell you how smart. You're like, oh, you can't, like,
So
did he
smart.
know this?
Oh,
Did he
did-
know
did-
this?
did-
But
What's your IQ?
No, it's reasonable. No 150, nothing good.
Okay, she was impressed.
She was
I
impressed.
dare say.
It made me slightly uncomfortable. I have a bubble, and my bubble is pretty big. Like, I'm a very touchy-feely, like, in the sense of, like, loving and wanting affection, want to hold, your arm or whatever. And if I'm with a friend, like, I'm happy. But I do have a bubble when talking to people, especially people I don't know very well. And she was too close to Stephen Fry for me.
They're
She
already
just-
close on the couch anyway.
I know, but she just kept leaning like this, and I was like, "Ooh, the bubble, the bubble." But what I will say is, I am now going to get that book.
Yeah, I'm
I want
interested.
the first one, Mythos. I
Yeah.
want that one first.
No,
I'm interested.
I'm interested as well. It's great that I teach. We talk about Greek and Latin root words, and a little bit about allusions, Greek allusions. We don't dive too much into mythology, but my students absolutely love anything with mythology. Different students every single year, they always talk about how they watch YouTube videos about this or that. Like, it's a topic that students have always been interested in. And so I like to have a little more information than I have right now to kind of talk to them, especially like how they got started and all this kind of stuff. So that would really interest me. And the fact that I'm sure he still did some research for those books.
Oh, I'm sure.
But if he knew just like even half of that stuff just from the top of his head, that's pretty impressive.
But it also lets you know he learned it at some point and remembered it.
Yeah, and he
Wrote
found
it down.
interest in it.
So that's cool. And I'm interested. I've never been interested in things like that in the past. A lot of my students are interested in it as well. Like, I'm never somebody who wants to read Percy Jackson books or anything like that. But I am curious. Like, what intrigued me was, again, I don't know a lot about it because it's just not my realm of interest. But the fact that there were other gods before Zeus and all that. And I was like, oh, I did not realize that. Like, those are the ones we know.
The Titans.
Which would make sense. Of course it makes sense, but I just never cared about it. But I'm like, now I want to know. And I like the eat around the fire idea. Like, we do eat as a family at the table, but there are also many days that one child is not eating with us or, playing a game or sleeping. So it made me realize we should get back to the hearth.
Get back to the hearth, absolutely. I've always just been fascinated with the fact that someone tells a story, and before TV and technology, someone tells a story around a campfire, and people like it so much that they pass it on and pass it on and pass it on, and it's lasts. To this day, we're still creating movies and books based on those stories that someone created, hundreds, thousands of years ago. I think that's pretty fascinating. Let us know what you think about our reaction to this and what he said. If you read the book, let us know. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time.